What's going on, everybody? It's your health and fitness specialist, Kelly Brown. In today's video, I want to discuss a topic. Does it really matter if you're natural or not? Okay, so yesterday I did a podcast with one of my good friends, and he was a coach of mine too when I was getting ready to do my shows back in the day. And one of the conversations that came up, he was telling me, hey, look at this other guy's YouTube channel. He does a big thing on whether somebody's natural or if they're not natural and all this other stuff. And I had answered the question, and I was gonna actually post the podcast, but it came out so choppy that I wanted to just make a video about the topic because I thought that it was really something that I probably could have dug into a little bit deeper. So here's the thing. Backtrack, right? When I first started getting into YouTube, whatever you want to call it, or in the health and fitness and stuff like that, I was already training people. So I was a personal trainer already. I just decided to, hey, okay, I've been training. I've tried CrossFit, I tried Kung Fu, I played basketball, I did wrestling, just different things, rock climbing. I was trying all these different things to see what my body could do. So I was just chasing something to do with my body. You know what I mean? I'm just that type of person where it's like, okay, you gotta have some type of hobby to keep yourself fit and active, right? For health conscious reasons. So anyway, I decided to get into doing a show. And so with me doing these shows, I had to start feeding my mind with content from people outside of what I already knew, because the people around me, they had never competed before, so they couldn't tell me nothing. My coach, he was able to tell me some stuff, but it wasn't like, he had been there before, because I don't even think at the time he had competed yet, so he was just getting people ready. Or maybe he had competed once or twice, but the mentality that goes into it, he wasn't able to really sit there and babysit me and be like, okay, think about this and remember that. It was more like, okay, eat these things, do these workouts, send me pictures on Friday, right? Okay, cool. So what happened was I started listening, getting in shape, but at the same time, I was fueling my mind with a lot of content. I was listening to a lot of pro bodybuilders online and watching, a lot of Instagram influencers who were competitors, and I found myself comparing my body to theirs. And so the people who were around me, I could always take my shirt off and be like, hey, how do I look? And they'd be like, no, well, you look good. I look good for me because they already know who I was. But not in my mind, I didn't look good in comparison to who else was out there who was already competing and who was already an established IFBB pro. Back in 2015, when I started competing, I didn't know anything about steroids. I didn't know that stuff really was a thing. I thought it was just like something that was like, taboo. People do it, but you don't really talk about it. And, like during the time where I started competing, I started realizing like, oh, y'all are for real. Like y'all really do, what I'm saying? Like y'all really do take this stuff. Like this is a thing. And so, during that time I was like, okay, so now that I know that, I'm kind of on an uneven playing field, But here's the thing. I told my mother, she and I had a conversation. I was like, Ma, like, I don't know how far I'm gonna be able to go with bodybuilding because like, the next step is gonna have to be me getting on something, to really start competing and really grow. And at the time I was listening to like Gary Vee and trying to figure out what was next in my life. I was trying to figure out what was the next plan. I had already achieved some things on my body and I didn't feel satisfied. If you watch some of my old videos when I'm talking about my physique, I wasn't impressed with my own body because I was comparing, myself to other people who may or may have not been on steroids, but realistically that was their own journey. And so the thing was, I didn't know what I was going to do next, right? And so she said to me, well, why don't you just be an advocate for natural bodybuilding? I was like, you know what I mean? Like, I know dudes right now who look better than me, and I don't know who's natural. Like, I can't tell. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not my place to be walking up on somebody, hey, dude, do you take steroids or not? Like, I don't live like that. I'm a grown man. Like, I don't have time to be questioning some other grown man and what his tactics are to get his life, for whatever his thing is and his journey. And like I said, at the time I was listening to Gary Vee, and Gary Vee was saying something like, you got to be different to stand out. You got to be different to break out. And that kind of coincided with what my mother was telling me about, okay, well, if you can't find anybody online who is the natural guy or whatever like that, then why don't you be him? And I was like, all right, whatever. I'll make some videos. Let's see what happens, right? So in my journey, I started, researching and listening to guys who were online who may or may have not been natural. But the thing about it was their content was so the content was fuel for me still. I still got a chance to learn techniques, exercises, mindset, how to really focus on stuff. All of those things that they gave me that were still jewels for getting me forward and building my own frame. Now, I knew at some point, actually, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a point where I was very naive. I didn't know what was what, or what my body could do. I didn't know what my genetic limitations were. All I was doing was just following a program, working out hard, doing what I had been doing, and like kind of checking my progress, but kind of not. Just kind of keeping up with it, kind of not. And everybody who's around me, they can't tell if I'm making changes because they live with me, or they're my friends, or they're my, what I mean? Like they was my coach. So if we look at each other all the time, you can't really tell if somebody's making progress, right? And so it was just normal to me. Like my mother looks at me and she still calls me skinny. You feel me? Because her whole life she's always been like, yo, you so skinny, you a stick figure boy. And I've been so conditioned to think that I've been skinny my whole life that I don't even see genetics and all this other stuff. But once I started understanding how genetics and everything worked, I was very appreciative of the content that I had taken in from the people who came before me, the other IFBB pros, the other men's physique competitors, the other bodybuilding competitors. I never really looked into anybody who was a natural person because I felt like the information is synonymous. The information is synonymous. If I tell you to do an exercise, it don't matter if you're on steroids or not. It's an exercise to build that body part, and if you do it the right way, it's going to develop that body part on your body. Now, maybe you might not get the same results as the person, you may not get the same results as me, but you're gonna get your own results. You're gonna get results in your own body. So my thing was like, okay, people are so hung up on, oh, is he natural or not? That's like asking somebody like how big his joint is. You know what I mean? Like, what's that matter? What difference does it make? My homeboy called me the other day and was like, yo, I'm about to get on. I said, word? I said, yo, listen, make sure, only thing I got to say about it, I'm cool, whatever you do, make sure you take estrogen blockers so you don't get the gynoclamastia thing. He was like, oh yeah, bet, I got that. My man, who we both know already, was like, my man, he's taking care of me, we both know him, and I had worked out with his man before, who was my man too, and so that's why I was like, okay, you good then. And I didn't find out that our mutual friend had been taking steroids until way later. I just thought he was a big old dude. I didn't think nothing about it. I didn't think like, oh, well, he's only big because I met this dude, he was big. The whole time I known him, he was big. So I never thought nothing of it. When we worked out together, I was like, yo, this dude's strong, but he got me by 60 pounds, and so I expect him to be strong, but I'm still doing the same workouts with him. Like, we worked out together sometimes, and yeah, maybe I had to change the weight a little bit, but the exercises were the same. He might have to take a couple plates off. But you start to notice that even people who are on steroids, when they work out, it's not like they lift super heavy. They're not out there lifting crazy weights and all this other stuff. Anyway, so I say that to say this. If somebody is natural or not, that's none of your business. Like we grown men. You know what I mean? Like, we grown men. Like, how much money you make? Like, where you go to school at? Oh, what kind of job you got? Oh, I can never be this person because he went to school here. Like, come on. How you sound right now? You know what I'm saying? You sound like a clown. So my thing is, like, leave it alone. You shouldn't be a grown man picking on somebody or trying to downplay somebody because you're a skeptic. You a skeptic? You don't even know for sure. So my thing is, take the information from, whoever is valuable. Maybe you may not get the same results as this person. Okay, cool. That's fine. But you still going to make great progress yourself. You still going to look like a specimen yourself. My thing is, what would have happened to me if I would have sat back and been like, oh my God, Kai Green took steroids before. Now let me just stop bodybuilding because I know there's no way for me to get there to his level. Okay, I can't get to his level, but I can be my best level. I can be the best version of myself. And so, yeah, you got to be careful of who you're taking information from if they haven't made the progress, if they haven't come from where you come from. The steroids aren't there they're there to enhance what you can already do. My homeboy who's about to get on, me and him are already beasts. We already been in the gym working out together. We was already right. You know what I mean? He just was like, yo, I just want to get bigger. I said, okay, cool, do what you gotta do. But he already don't like to eat neither. So my thing is like you're gonna get on it and not even do all the right things that comes along with it. It's an enhancement. It's an enhancement. It makes whatever you were doing already amplifies it. So if you somebody who has you work out but you got a trash body anyway, like, cause you've seen people before in the gym and it's like, oh, that dude's probably on steroids, but he don't even look good. He looks like, like disproportionate. You feel me? Like his shoulders are too big. He got a skinny neck. Chest is flat, but his back is big. It's like weird stuff. He got a fat stomach. Like, okay, you taking stuff, but your stomach is fat. Like you don't even look magnificent. So, yeah, I'm not gonna take information from you. But if you look magnificent and you on something, yeah, I'll probably take information from you because you still had to look magnificent, even if you wasn't on that amplifier. You still gonna look good if we peel all that stuff back off. And so my thing is, the foundation is the same across the board. The workouts that you gotta do, the way you gotta lift, all that stuff, it's the same. Like when they say lift heavy, it's heavy relative to you. It's not heavy relative to what he can lift. It's relative to you. Don't put a number on it, but the foundation, the baseline of the information, it's all pretty much the same. And if you stay in a naive mindset and just thinking, okay, well, I can do anything. If somebody came in and told Barack Obama, oh, you can never be president because you only have to be white in order to be a president, he would have been like, all right, well, I guess I'm hopeless. You think you're gonna sit back and just be like, oh well, no, there's no chance for me? No, you gotta still go forward and try. Do it yourself. See what happens. Because you might still look great, and then you're great. Shoot for the moon, land on the mountain, right? Shoot for the moon, land on the mountain. Like so shoot high. And even though you shot high, wherever you land, you're still gonna be high up. You're still gonna be higher than where you started off at. So it's not about downplaying somebody because they're doing something in addition to what they were already doing. That's irrelevant. You feel me? Like that's irrelevant. That doesn't matter that they're also on something else. And it shouldn't be something that is shocking to somebody's credibility. I understand if somebody's selling plans and stuff like that, and they're selling some type of they're selling wolf tickets and dreams to people and they know better. Now that's scandalous, and we all know that. Like anything built on a untrue, anything built on a flawed foundation or on a lie, it can't last anyway. That stuff, like God gonna take care of that. All that stuff comes to light at some point, one time or another. It's not gonna. You can't sustain something that's built on a bad foundation. If it's built on lies, it's built on cheating and stealing and all that other stuff, it can't last. You might make some money right now, but you can't sustain that for long term. Somebody's gonna pull your card. And so my thing is, if you start off one way and you stay your one way and you stay true to yourself, okay, whatever. But at the end of the day, realistically, you worried about if somebody's natural or not. Like, what are you trying to be? You trying to be the next IFBB pro? You trying to be the next Jay Cutler, Kai Green? You know what I'm saying? You trying to be the next Heidi Shupin or something like that? Like, you want to be that person? You want to be Phil Heath? Okay, cool. Yeah, maybe you need to start doing some research and listening to those guys. But for the most of us, we're on a channel talking about if somebody's natural or not. Like, y'all are gossiping like little chicks. Like, oh, I wonder if this person is doing this. Like, what that got to do with you? Go outside and work out. Like, go do something. Yo, I'm in the house doing. I could do 300 push-ups. You feel what I'm saying? Like, how many push-ups can you do? How many pull-ups can you do? My warm-up for pull-ups is 100. Can you do that first? Let's worry about your pull-up count first before you start worrying about who's natural, who's on steroids, and who's not on steroids. Like, that's nothing. That don't matter. Let's worry about getting your body in shape first. Once you get your body in shape, then you can start saying, okay, do I want to go to the next level? And if you understand it, when you start off, you want to start off with baseline anyway. Start off, build a solid foundation. I say that in my book. Build a solid foundation, because once you build that foundation, y'all have seen me before. I didn't look that bad when I fell off. I stopped working out for 6 months and I still look like I still look better than 70-80% of the dudes out there on my worst, because I built a solid foundation. You feel what I'm saying? So build a solid foundation, and then if you want to amplify, you want to add something else, okay, cool, do that later. But get to be the best version of yourself first. Once you max out your natural genetics, then you say, okay, cool, like, hey, this is my limit. Now it's time to go. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, like, my limit probably on my own, and I don't even like to eat. And realistically, I lost weight this week because I've been sitting here staring at this computer all day trying to learn how to trade this Forex and messing with Bitcoin. So I've been going to sleep and not even eating dinner, so I kind of lost some weight, but I'm gonna get back on it though. So, but my thing is, that's nothing. You know what I mean? 5-6 pounds, like, okay, cool. If I had got to like, I think naturally the most I probably can get to is maybe, the biggest I've been was 213. 213, and I was eating a lot of junk food. 213. I probably can get back to 213 muscle. 215 maybe, might be my cap. If y'all ever see me walk around here at 260, 270, 245, okay, you know something's up. You know I crossed over because I got tired of it. You see what I'm saying? But my frame, I'm already 5'11 and a half. I walk around on my worst day at 188, 189. You mean tell me I can't put on 20 pounds? You see what I'm saying? 10, 15 pounds, like I can do that, that's nothing. And I'm 32, you feel what I'm saying? So the weight's gonna stick on me. So just think about that next time you questioning whether somebody's natural or not, or what's it matter, like what's it matter? You feel what I'm saying? Like how much money you make? Like what kind of lifestyle are you living? Like let's worry about stuff that's important. Like are you doing good? Or are you out here jugging people, being terrible in the streets? Like let's talk about that type of stuff. Get your life right first before you start worrying about what somebody else is doing. And stop judging people because you think, you know, that they're not a credible source because they did something that was best for their lifestyle. Like what's best for you is what's best for you. And I'm not gonna judge you on what you do. You feel what I'm saying? So don't judge somebody else on what they do. Information, if somebody gives you information, it's not like they're a non-credible source. They still had to build a phenomenal physique. And you can't build a physique on steroids anyway. You gotta build a physique on work ethic, discipline, genetics, and then the steroids amplified. That's like the last thing of it all. That's not the first thing of it. When I did my NPC show, you know how many competitors walked up on me and was like, yo, if you got on, you'd be a problem. And they knew already that I wasn't on because you could tell from the way my frame is. Yes, I have the symmetry, but when I dial it in and when I lean out, I have to get a lot smaller. So for me, what would have happened is I would have been able to keep my same size and be shredded, which, you know, I would have been a problem. But that's not what I wanted to do. And there's no money in that for me. That, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to do that. And to be honest, like my mother watches my channel. I'm not about to be out here lying and doing extra stuff and my mother's watching me like, boy, what are you doing? Why you take it? Like I'm not, it's just not my character. You feel what I'm saying? But it's not anything wrong for anybody else to do. I don't judge anybody for what they do, what they take. That's your own business. And I think you should be the same way. Like stop judging people. Don't worry about what they're doing. Worry about yourself. Like get your life together. You know what I'm saying? And then once you get your life together, if you decide that you want to take that next step, okay, take that next step. But don't point the finger at everybody else saying that they're terrible people. Anyway, comment below. Let me know what you think about this topic. Don't forget to subscribe. Download my ebook. Get your meal prep containers. Matter of fact, just in case y'all haven't seen them, don't forget to get your Kelly Brown Naturals containers, okay? Glass meal prep containers with bamboo lids, borosilicate glass, like Pyrex, they don't break. They got vacuum seals, silicone on the lids. And so when you close them, you know, they're airtight, you don't smell anything. Make sure you get these. You can click the link in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.